Welcome to another episode of Chat Sports Talk. You know, my name's Chad. Take a dive on sports. And welcome to another reiteration of I am doing. This is kind of like the continuation of the previous expansion video talk I did previously dealing with Major League Baseball. There's been rumors that now Mansfield is looking to expand the Major Leagues into 32 teams. We'll have a bunch of cities about this one. This is for the NBA, and Adam Silver has said they are looking at expansion once they clear their television contracts in 2024, which has now gotten the buzz floating around of who's going to get in. Now, this is also another topic that I discussed earlier in the beginnings of this channel of which teams or which cities I think the NBA will go into. So I'm going to rehash that again, probably a little more better optics and looking at that, probably re-ranking the how I placed them. And this is going to be my top 10 expansion city hopefuls. And I kind of named who I think is going to get in, who I think is going to be out. But before I dive into all of that, if you could go hit that thumbs up, especially like the content I provide you, really please you two guys, and really helps promote this channel out. And also subscribe. A lot of you guys review my work, and I love you for doing that. Now make you subscribe. It doesn't cost you a dime. Helps me provide more time value for you. Now, I did say I provided 10. I lied. It's 11. I have pretty much one that's pretty much a guarantee. Was that really? You can't really guarantee none of this, really. This is kind of like a building block that's set in wet cement and it's left to just set and cure and solidify. And I think the number one team on everyone's video, without a doubt, is the return of the Supersonics. I think no one's going to question the fact that Seattle is going to try to push to get a team. I think the whole thing they got to worry about is try to get a owner that's willing to fork over the expansion fee. Then you probably can work out a deal with Client Pledge Arena, thanks to Seattle Kraken and NHL. Get their team in there. I think the going rate to get a team in is probably $1 billion. I think it's getting to that point now where they are looking at generating that much from a team. I think that's what the NBA is looking at, because right now they're trying to get back to the break-even mark after the bubble season and some of the lost revenue from there. So that's why you got the new television contract as well. So expect $1 billion expansion fee to get into the league. And there are certain areas I think that will benefit that, and Seattle is definitely one of them. They're definitely a fan favorite. When the Supersonics were playing, they're definitely one of the fan favorites out there. At the time, the only team in Seattle to bring home any championship hardware. So, having the Supersonics back, I think is a no-brainer. I think no one's going to deny that one. So this is going to be a top 10 of other cities that I think the NBA is considering. Now, this list, I will have a few that are definitely out there. More likely, probably won't get any consideration that people will really take seriously. I just put them on here just because I think it's kind of a fun idea to look at them and see all of the possibilities. So let's start with number 10. This is a city that actually had a NBA franchise at one point in time. This was a stopping ground of the Sacramento Kings on their movement west. This is the second stop of that franchise when they landed in Cincinnati, or the Cincinnati Royals. This is the home. This is where Oscar Robertson came into fruition and dominated the league. The only reason why I put Cincinnati on this list over Columbus is because of the NBA lineage. And Cincinnati is just one of these towns, for some reason, that has a lot of outdoor leagues with the Reds, the Bengals, and then their Cincinnati FC. but they have anything for indoors besides the Cyclones of the ECHL. So it is, I think, imperative that you look at them as a possibility of trying to get in there. Right now, they're the 36 media market, which is better than some teams in the NBA. So that's one of the major stumbling blocks for Cincinnati is a suitable arena, a location for that. Because I don't think people in Cincinnati root for the Cleveland Cavaliers. That'd be kind of sacrilege. I'm not saying there's not Cavs fans in Cincinnati, but I think they'll probably root for someone else before they root for Cleveland. Number 9, I got Norfolk, Virginia. That Norfolk, Hampton Roads, Virginia Beach area, which is a huge metroplex area that could really benefit from it. I think Virginia is the largest U.S. state in terms of population without a professional team within its confines. The closest team they can really root for is those in North Carolina or in the D.C. area. Now, do I really think that they would do that? More likely depends how close they are to those certain particular areas. Now, the media market-wise for the Norfolk area is 44th in the country, so definitely lower than Cincinnati. The success that the University of Virginia has had on the men's side is really starting to pick up the desire to get a team in this region. Metro size area, you'll look at a 1.7 mil plus. So this is definitely an area you can look at to try to expand, but once again, you're looking at arenas. You definitely have to build one in that region somewhere to really kind of help facilitate, but I'd still like the idea of having a team in Norfolk, Virginia, represent the state of Virginia, bring that into the NBA, but I think they're number 9. Number 8, north of the border, Montreal. The number 2 market in the country, huge rival with Toronto in a lot of the sports, especially the NHL. Those are the 2 most iconic cities for the NHL. Toronto Raptors have a huge fan base now, thanks to winning the championship. And of course, only being the only team in the country of Canada. But for Montreal, I'm not sure if there's a big desire for an NBA franchise. I'm sure there's a desire to get another major league team into the city of Montreal. I mean, you already have the NHL, the CFL for those north of the border, and then Major League Soccer. I know they're trying to get the Expos to return for baseball. I think that one's also a long shot, and getting Montreal getting Montreal into the NBA, excuse me, I think is also another long shot. But number 7, I think this one is a little more interesting for me because they've never seen a NBA franchise call them home. Now, they did have an ABA franchise at one point in time, but never really materialized beyond the ABA. It didn't last very long either. Definitely didn't last the time frame of the merger. That's the Steel City, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's got a presence on pretty much every other league except 2 of the Big 5, Major League Soccer and the NBA. You look at the fan support the Steelers get, the fan support the Penguins get, the fan support the Pirates can get. They've had great fan support in the past. They've had some bad years, which kind of dwindled this fan support a bit, which happens with every major league team. That's how you build yourself up to get you back in there. I mean, it's the 26th media market. The metro area, 2.3 plus million. You also have the PPG Paint Arena, which is a newer arena specifically built for the Penguins. But I think it could be a suitable home for a professional basketball team. Now, number 6, this team itself, I think, this city, It's also another one that's had a history of the NBA within the city's confines. They've actually won a championship. Haven't won it since they left the city, when they moved down south. And that's St. Louis. I think St. Louis would be a huge market that could definitely get the fan base. The metro area alone is close to 3 million at 2.8. Median market size, 24th in the nation. They support the Blues. They support the Cardinals. They supported the Rams before they were just yanked out of there. Now they got Major League Soccer came into town. So it's definitely an area that could really thrive. It really can. I think it could really work out. You got the Enterprise Center, which is a NHL arena. I will grant you that. So they may not have the best configuration for a basketball team in there, but you have the arena in place that could really spearhead the basketball in Missouri, which has 0 franchises, which makes absolutely no sense for basketball. And you can definitely develop a quick rivalry with Chicago, Minnesota, Memphis. I mean, they have close rivals right there they can pick up with. I think they could. I think there is a slight rumbling of trying to get St. Louis in there. But once again, you got to look for that owner that's willing to fork up, like I said earlier, $1 billion probably expansion fee. And that's where it puts them at number 6. Number 5, going back up to Canada, back to another area that had the NBA franchise that didn't have much success. They've had success now in their new location. That's Vancouver. Bring Vancouver in there, especially when you have at Seattle, and then you have 3 there in the Pacific Northwest. Fits in, especially like when you do with Major League Soccer. They have their Cascadia series. Do the same thing in NBA. Once again, is their owner willing to pay the money? And there's enough support in Vancouver to generate a second franchise. Now, is their owner willing to spend the time trying to market the team correctly, get the team the necessary attention it needs to thrive and be successful? That's another issue. That's one of the reasons why the original Grizzlies never succeeded in Vancouver. So you do have that one playing out. So I think they're number 5. I still think there's a slim shot for them, but beyond that, I think 5 on down, you could pretty much make a case for them and then take them out of consideration. So these next 4, I think these are the ones the NBA are probably going to seriously consider moving forward. And at number 4, I will put Kansas City. Now, Kansas City has ties with the Sacramento Kings. This is where the Cincinnati Royals moved to, and they moved to Kansas City. They changed the name to the Kings, so they want to confuse it with the baseball franchise already established there. And you also got the influence of the University of Kansas, a basketball blue blood. So you got University of Missouri, which has some good basketball teams in the past. They have T-Mobile Center, which was built to attract either an NBA or NBA franchise. They have yet to do that. The problem in Kansas City is there a owner willing to cough up the expansion fee and to put a team in Kansas City, put another team in put a team back in the Show Me State. Once again, Kansas City is like Cincinnati, an outdoor sports city. Chiefs, Royals, Sporting Kansas City. So they don't have any true indoor representation of the major leagues. So bringing back a NBA franchise would definitely suit them well. I think it could work. I think before, I had them close to number 2, if not number 3. I've kind of fallen back on them before because you looked at the past with other expansion hopefuls. They've kind of not really stepped to the plate. They may look at trying to grab a relocating franchise. And I think one on the radar is the Pelicans. If the Benson family sells off the Pelicans, because last time I heard that the Pelicans were losing the Benson's money because they're kind of running it like the Saints, which is not the same thing. It's a different dynamic, different type of players. You can't do it that way. So, but I got Kansas City number 4. I've had them higher. They're starting to slip a bit. Number 3, Mexico City. Silver has stated himself he wants to put a team down in Mexico. He will be the first professional North American league to have a franchise in all 3 major North American countries. It will be huge. There's definitely the population. There's definitely sponsors that can go there. They've had the arena because they host basketball games down there from time to time. The major issue is altitude. It's higher than Denver, and they complain about Denver. They would complain immensely by Mexico City. It would not have the same flavor of an NBA game because of the higher altitude, which affects the ability of the players' endurance and the way the ball moves. So I'm not saying it wouldn't work. Definitely can have the definite sponsors there. But Mexico City is definitely high on our list to add another international team. And I have no issues that Aztecas de Mexico would definitely work. I have more stock, I think, in Mexico getting it before Kansas City. Number 2, I think this is going to be a shocker. I put this city in number 2, especially given its recent success. Las Vegas. Las Vegas is now a championship town. Well, it already was with the Las Vegas Aces. But it's a Stanley Cup town with the Vegas Golden Knights winning the Stanley Cup recently, becoming one of the youngest franchises in NHL history to achieve that mark. And you also got the success of the Oakland A's getting the stadium plans approved to start breaking ground on the stadium in Las Vegas to complete their move to Las Vegas. So, second franchise from Oakland going to Sin City. And there is a actual plan to build an NBA retractable roof stadium along with casino. This is typical for a lot of casinos in Vegas. MGM has their own arena on the grounds as well. There was a couple other ones I can't think of off the top of my head that had arenas that supported various type of leagues in the past, like the Las Vegas Wranglers of the ECHL. So they played in a smaller arena attached to a casino. So it's typical for that to happen, to have a casino build an arena, which has helped you to attract concerts and other shows. And then have it as open air will give it a unique aspect for NBA. But for me, I think Vegas is more outside looking in with this concept. And I think they have more chance of teaming up with the Knights at T-Mobile Arena. But we'll kind of see how that one goes. And number 1, I think, is long shot, but I like this one just recently. It's really kind of caught my eye, and I've had them high in the past, but I think it'll be a very unique pairing to go with Seattle. Louisville, Kentucky. I already hear it now. It's a small market. Yeah, it's number 48. It is lower than Norfolk, Virginia. But it's in Louisville, Kentucky. University of Louisville, blue blood basketball. University of Kentucky, blue blood basketball. Across the river, University of Indiana, blue blood basketball. And it's a basketball hotbed in that region. They almost got the Vancouver Grizzlies They were competing with Memphis, and they're going to change the name to the Kentucky Colonels. No, not for KFC, even though they would be playing the KFC Yum Center, which it makes this whole thing really, really silly when you kind of look at it that way. But I've stated in videos in the past, the Colonel, the Kentucky Colonel, or the Colonel, is a title given to individuals from the Commonwealth of Kentucky. So it's not named after Colonel Sanders of KFC. It is the title you can earn from the Commonwealth. And it was a franchise in the NBA as well. They just never survived long enough for the merger. But I think adding the Kentucky Colonels and as well as the Seattle Supersonics give you two iconic franchises. You can split the league into two 16-team conferences. I think you keep it 18 divisions because the way the NBA is structured anyways, you're looking at teams 1 through 6 get in, and get 7 through 10, then play a play-in tournament. It gives you 6 teams looking on the outside, going into the lottery. But I've long-winded this one quite a bit. I don't want to go this quite in detail with a lot of this. A lot of these cities definitely make sense. Like I said, Seattle, I'm not going to cover that because I think everyone knows everything going on with Seattle. They really want the Supersonics back. They hated the idea that they left and went to Oklahoma City. So did I. I just don't like to see iconic teams leaving locations where they had decades of success and ravenous fans, and they just rip their heart out, much like the Chargers leaving LA. Or, the original Browns leaving Cleveland. Those are the type of thing I don't like seeing. But unfortunately, sports is a business. Owners go where they can make the most money. And I think for the NBA, if they put a team back in Seattle, it'll be a gold mine for years. That second team, you're looking at a silver mine. It's just, who do you pick? I mean, I like the idea of putting a team down in Mexico, but I think it's kind of a long shot. Kansas City built the arena. The old saying, if you build it, they will come. Hasn't worked in San Antonio with the Alamo Dome. It's not working in Kansas City with the T-Mobile Center. So we'll see how that one kind of plays out. Las Vegas is another interesting one. It's been a huge success right now, especially in the NHL. They have a ravenous fan base in NFL. We'll see how it plays out for Major League Baseball. Louisville, Kentucky is definitely another interesting aspect. Like I said, they're trying to get the Grizzlies when the Grizzlies moved to Memphis. Louisville is also considered as well. They'll get like I said, they get the fan base in Seattle, the second city. Unsure where to go, but I said my piece on that one, so I'm not going to reiterate all that aspect. But once again, it's going to kind of reiterate. I'm going to put Seattle and Louisville, Kentucky in there and go from there. Kind of showcase, the divisions, how those set up, and kind of break down. I think it makes more sense with basketball staying like the NHL style of 18 divisions. That way they can keep their current format going. But what do you think? Which two cities do you think really deserves to be added to the NBA? Which city did I forget that you think probably deserves a shot? Let me know down in the comments below. Once you're down there, make sure you hit the thumbs up once again. Once you subscribe, make sure you click that bell icon and turn on notifications so next time I post any more content on my channel. And I'll see you next time on Chat Sports Talk.